Hey, this is Greg Jones with 1623 Custom Harmonicas. Recently, I've been asked quite a few times, and understandably why, how I clean Seydel harmonicas that are sent to me for repair. And sometimes players just want to know how they should go about cleaning their own harps as well. So, just a quick little video on that. First of all, Seydel harmonicas generally are stainless steel, reed, and the components, if they're wood, they're sealed, or they're plastic or polymer components, and so they can be rinsed. And sometimes the easiest solution is just to rinse them in water. But thought we'd go through some other ways that we can do it. First of all, there's absolutely nothing wrong with using either a little 409 or dishwashing soap. When you use a cleaner on a harmonica, you want to make sure that it's water soluble. And so when we talk about water soluble, we want whatever cleaner we use to dissolve in water so that you can rinse it off. And so when we're cleaning, and when we're cleaning our harmonica, obviously disinfecting is one reason to do it. And what I'll do when I get a harmonica in for repair, and when I send it out after repair, is I just take an alcohol swab, and a lot of times I'll just wipe it down really good. Now, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not saying that this is necessarily adequate, and I'm sure many will chime in with their own opinions on it, but this is what I do. And when I send harmonicas out after having been repaired, I usually enclose a little alcohol pad. However, when I'm going to work on your harmonica, this is how I clean it. I like to start with a clean slate. Many times just so I can optimize performance on the harmonica. So I can just kind of start with a clean harp and make sure that there's no dirt or anything else that's interfering with the reeds. So I'm going to demonstrate how I do that, and a product that I use. Frequently use this right here, CLR. It's a kitchen and bath cleaner, and I like to use it because it has a little bit of a rust dissolving nature to it. And so anyhow, I'm going to show you how I do that here. We're going to do first, I'm just going to disassemble this harp. And when we do that, I'm using just a standard Phillips head on the covers. This is session steel. I like to work over a towel. The reason is when screws drop, they inevitably bounce and get lost. So I'm going to save these screws right here. Have the covers. Now I'm going to use a posi drive to get the screws, the reed plate screws out, and I'm going to speed up the video, stop talking for a minute. Okay, so I have the screws out on this harmonica, and so if you look, you'll see a little bit of discoloration on the reed plates. Not too bad. So that's a little bit of oxidation, and possibly a little bit of saliva buildup. So what I want to do is kind of get that off of there as best I can. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to set these in a tray, and then I'm going to squirt all the parts with this foaming cleaner. Just let it sit. So we'll talk about this for just a minute. I like this foaming cleaner, and that'll get, like I said, any dried saliva out of there. And it also sometimes you'll see a little bit of oxidation, which looks a little bit like rust on some of the parts, and sometimes it'll clean that off. Frequently asked if it's okay to use CLR on brass reed harmonicas, non-Seydel harps. I don't really work on non-Seydel, so I'm not really going to speak to whether you should use that product on them. However, I see nothing wrong with 409 or standard dishwashing soap on any other harmonica reed plates. Anyhow, as you'll see, this stuff is just foaming up right there, and we'll let it sit and then come back in just a little bit. So now I've waited about 10 or 15 minutes, and the foaming cleaner has kind of dissolved, I guess, or gone away or soaked in. And so anyhow, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to the sink and rinse parts off real good. Now that I've completely rinsed the parts, now I'm just gonna let them sit here for a little while and dry off. But as you can see, kind of did a really good job of just kind of getting a little bit of the oxidation and gunk buildup, possibly dried saliva, and other stuff there. It's cleaned off. Thank you for tuning in to this video where I show how I clean Seydel harmonicas that are sent to me for repair. There are other ways that harmonicas can be cleaned, and we'll talk about some of those other ways in additional videos. Once again, I'm Greg Jones, 1623 Custom Harmonicas.